We've come to the final day of what's been a bumper weekend in GAA action. Football dominated proceedings and provided some highly entertaining games. Well, let's hope for more of the same from the hurlers of Waterford and Clare.
I think it'll be a battle because I suppose being from Clare, I know what these boys are like. I know the talent that is in Clare, the young talent. And to be honest, I would have serious time for a lot of these young guys that are coming on. I think they are the real deal.
Two sides have shared some great moments. John Malone has taken off the black helmet straight away and he means business. Into the action, into the attack, and he puts it over the bar. What a start for the Dutchman.
He's bearing down a goal. He wants a goal. He gets a goal.
I think that'll be a big challenge for us, and it's one we're going to have to be ready for.
Lobbed in well, dangerously so, and it's in the back of the net. The post, and it's Dan Shanahan has got a hat-trick.
I'm going Waterford and I have a job to do, and I have to do that to the best of my ability, and I'll be trying to do it. You don't know what will happen. You just don't know. Hurling's a funny game, but the one thing is, when it's over, I leave it there, and that's the way it'll be left, you know.
Yes, Waterford and Clare contest the first of this year's Munster hurling semi-finals throw-in at Semple Stadium in just under a half an hour. And with me this afternoon to discuss our live games are Ger Loughnane, Cyril Farrell and Donal O'Grady. Gentlemen, very welcome indeed. Ger, we heard Davy Fitz say there, talking about the Clare team, you know, about having a lot of respect for some of these young players coming through and great time for them. And there is that contrast, I suppose, between Clare and Waterford today.
Well, he has a lot of time for them. He knows them very well because he has had a lot of them either playing for him in Fitzgibbon or playing against him in Fitzgibbon. So he has a great knowledge of all those young players. And, of course, everybody knows now that Clare won the All-Ireland 21 last year. Some very, very good players on that. Now, one of the best of the young players today is missing, actually, James McInerney. He's injured. He's been playing today. But even behind these group, there are 7 debutants today, 5 of them that are still under 21. And even behind that group, Michael, there are still a lot of very promising players as well. So really today is something exceptional. 7 new players coming into the team. I suppose coming in at a time when the core fellas are not as strong as the core fellas used to be on the Clare team. So they're coming in.
But that gives an opportunity then to bring on the next generation.
It does, yeah. And as well as that, it's a great test. You'll see today, we don't want spectacular performances from them, but we want to see, are they the right material? Have they the gut for battle? I was going to use another word there, but I'd say, have they the real gut for battle today? And if they have that, and if they put up a really good performance today and show promise for the future and are able to cope with the pace of Waterford, then Clare supporters will be very happy.
The contrast is there then, of course, there with the Waterford team. Now, Waterford have brought in, some new players into the side as well, but you look around and you see a lot of the great servants of Waterford hurling still there. And what we're asking ourselves is there just one more championship in them?
Well, you look on Tony Brown there for a lot of years, and now he's going to probably picking up one of the live wires. A regular now on the Clare team for last year is Jonathan Clancy. Very, very fast to bring him all over the pitch. Now, Tony is a great player. Rick Welch, centre back. Up front, you have Owen Kelly, Dan Shannon, John Milan. These are the regulars. But when you look at Waterford, they have a very seasoned team, but then they have the new lads coming through. Noel Connors quite new, making his own, and Jamie Nagle, making his own. Richie Foley, these are new, and Stephen Malumphey. They're the new Waterford. But as Gerard said, it's a big, big step for Clare. They are coming out of Division 2, didn't win it, but there's going to be a good game in them that have a right cut at Waterford. I just have a feeling that Waterford have a lot more to lose today than Clare have. The Waterford favourites would be expected to win, would be hoping to get in there and have a right cut at Cork, whereas Clare would be saying, if we win it'll be great, but performance is what they're really looking for.
One contrast in this match this weekend, it's a hurling match obviously, not apart from anything else, but we've had some lovely weather for our football games. Unfortunately not the case in Thurles. How's that going to affect it?
Well, first of all, if you when you're underdogs, Michael, the first thing you want is a wet day. So when you open the curtains and you look out, say, great, right, it's raining. Now, it favours the fences normally, but, if you want to get in amongst the favourites, want to knock them out of their stride, right, okay, rain is the situation because they'll have trained for 2 or 3 weeks, fine weather, top of the ground hurling, suddenly now it is wet and slippery, so, you get your shoulder early, people slide, so mistakes are made. So, it evens things up a little bit. I'd still go along with Cyril, I'd be favouring Waterford, but it evens things up a lot. OK, well, let's go down indeed to Semple Stadium and get the views of 2 players who know all about the cut and thrust of the Munster Championship. They are Tony Griffin of Clare and Waterford Stephen Frampton, and they are with Joanne Cantwell.
From sunshine in Killarney to downpours in Thurles, but we're well used to it, especially Stephen and Tony are. Tony, obviously Waterford once again are favourites today, but you know that doesn't always matter. You were here a couple of years ago and you know what happened then.
Well, this is it, I suppose, when it comes to Munster Championship, and especially on a day like today, favouritism and who comes in as a hot favourite goes out the window, and it really, anything can happen. We saw that with Cork and Tipperary there last weekend. So I think it's going to be, at least I'm hoping it's going to be a very close game.
Now, obviously, when you left the Clare panel, there was a lot of problems going on there. How do you think that'll affect them today?
Well, I think the fact that there's 7 under-21s firstly shows that these guys, they're used to winning. They beat Kilkenny All-Ireland under-21 final. I think they'll go out there with absolutely no fear and just give it a real lash. And that's why you just don't know what's going to happen on a day like today.
Well, Stephen, you certainly don't have good memories as a Waterford man playing against Clare.
Absolutely, yeah. We lost in a replay on a quite a similar day today. The heavens open for the whole match. We should have beaten them probably the first day, but we lost our opportunity. But very untypical Munster Championship day today with the rain and a bit of a smaller crowd on a Monday as well, you know.
Davy sprung a few surprises with his team selection. How did that go down in Waterford?
I suppose there weren't a whole lot of surprises. I know there's a couple of new guys, but he's been kind of sizing up a team for the whole way through the league. He's introduced an awful lot of new names. I suppose it was a bit worrying that there hasn't been a very settled look about the team, but a lot of experience back in there today. Dan Shanahan is making, I suppose, what we would call a comeback, and he's in great form, so it'll be interesting to see how he does against he'll probably start at full forward against the debutant for Clare at full back.
In a word from the two of you, I want to know who's going to win.
Just experience to Waterford, hopefully.
Tony, a shock?
Well, I'm going to say Clare, but I think, like Stephen, it'll be a shock perhaps.
If it is a shock or if it isn't, who knows? One thing's for sure is we won't get a suntan.
Don't think you will, Joanne. Time now for a short commercial break, but do stay with us because coming up it's Waterford against Clare in the Munster Championship, and we'll be giving you a chance to bring someone home from Australia for the Munster hurling final. Have your pen and paper ready. Details after the break.